Sorry
Yes.
for interrupting you. What profession are you in?
Myself?
Yeah,
No, I'm a businessman.
yeah.
Yeah.
What I'm saying
Yeah.
is, what I'm saying is, if you don't incorporate in everything you do, in everything you do as a businessman, as a dentist, as a brain surgeon, heart surgeon, wherever, you must go along with these new technologies of artificial intelligence. You must incorporate in order to advance. Businesses that are incorporating and integrating this new technology are advancing, are being far, far more competitive than those who are not, who are thinking. The question is, are you going to learn this new technology? And Black people, some are not thinking that this may be a gimmick, like a
Yeah.
new mobile phone. You used to them tomorrow, another thing comes around. The question, what the objective is, many professors and many other people who are an expert in this area says if you don't integrate, no matter what profession you're in, if you don't integrate these tools in incorporate into what you do, then you're going to be left behind.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You and I are saying the same. I mean,
Yeah.
it just different directions. What I'm saying is you are correct, 100% correct. However, what I'm saying is that there is really no business that will survive without AI. So, like my earlier introduction, I said it is not possible. It is no longer whether you are willing to incorporate it or not. You are going to be forced to use it. But those who are going to master, people who are going to become the master of the technology, are the ones that will outcompete their colleagues, their competitors. So it is not possible anymore for anybody to write thesis without using ChatGPT. No matter how intelligent they are, it is no longer possible for you to do anything without using Microsoft, Excel. It is not possible, no matter even if you are a genius. But what I'm saying is that everybody's it's going to be so easy. Technology is going to make it easy for you to use the AI. But the point is, to what extent are you going to utilize this technology? Everybody's going to have access to it. Everybody's going to use it. But those who master the technology and become experts in it are the ones that will excel, more than their colleagues. That's what I'm saying. So you are correct. Everybody has to use it. But the question is, to what extent is everyone willing to implement the tools to achieve the results?
Thank you, thank you. I mean, to be honest with you, Greg, both of you are saying, like you said, both of you are saying the same thing. But what it is Greg says, to what extent people will want to use it to. It's not a case, like you said, it's not going to be a case of want to. It's a case of gap in knowledge. They, some people are not ready for it. They don't even understand it properly. Yeah, and they're using some people, like I see people using Chat GPT as if it's a Google search engine. Yeah. Where and it's asking search engine questions to it rather than intelligent questions to it. So, but I want to bring Femi in at this point. Femi, before I move on to the next part, Femi, you haven't said much, but I don't know whether you're ready to talk. Yeah. Are you there, Femi? Just want to see. Are you there?
Sorry, Penny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you've heard what we've had to say. What do you have to say to what we've said so far?
Um, Not really much. I'll be adding to what I said earlier on. For some reason, um, we've kind of found ourselves in in times where one just can't help but update oneself in the direction the trend seems to be taking us. You know, um, I believe is also going to bring about massively the need to for an average family to be technologically savvy now. Because it's going to be inevitable.
Yeah.
It's just going to be inevitable.
Yeah.
That's just what I will add to what I said earlier on.
Okay. Okay, thanks for that contribution. I mean, one thing I will say here is that we need to also, can you hear me? You can hear me now? Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
One thing I'll also say is, look, what has to happen now is a shift in our mindset. For things to go the way we want them to go, we have to have a shift in our mindset. Employees, most people have employee mindset, which is they're looking for a job, they're waiting for someone to give them a job, they're being interviewed for a job. But as Joe said earlier, the tide has changed. There are no more new jobs in terms of the jobs that we used to look for. So we need a change in mindset. So what's going to help us survive this, or how are we going to strive and be excellent? This is an opportunity. What I mean is we move from an employee mindset to an owner and creator mindset. That you now are looking at being the owner of a business that's going to be able to use the new technology, the AI, the decentralization, the cybersecurity, and also have a creative mindset. You're going to be the inventor of new things. This whole AI thing, this whole robotic thing, this whole Internet of Things, this whole cybersecurity, this whole decentralization of currency of finance, yeah, this whole thing opens up a massive opportunity for all. So it means that we all start from ground zero. We all start from ground zero, and what can happen is it can turn the whole world upside down. What I mean by that is the billionaires today may not even have the knowledge or have the capacity or capability to be able to take advantage. But the person that's probably average or doesn't have much money may have it up here to be able to take this and be a creator and owner and turn it over and create something that everybody wants. So that's one thing I would say in terms of we need to do a shift of mindset rather than looking for a job, start creating opportunities for jobs. Um, Obviously, also we need to start teaching people on financial literacy, because one thing that you're going to find out is that a lot of the governments, a lot of the banks, they're fighting decentralization, but it's a fight that possibly cannot be won because people are sick and tired of banks controlling what they do with the money they own. So decentralization is another thing that's going to happen. The banking sector is going to go bangs very soon. And that means that all these massive banks could end up being no banks or very small banks if they don't take new technology on board. So I want everyone to just think about that and just give me some some comments and what they think about what's going to happen. Do we need a mindset shift from employee to owner to creator? Do we now need to start teaching our children about decentralization of finance, decentralization of exchange? Because when we talk about digital currency is here to stay. There, you'll find that paper cash is no more. Yeah, very few paper cash now. What are we doing? Our money that we have is just digits on our phone or in our bank account. It's not money anymore. It's digits. Even the bank doesn't have that money. The bank, when you make a transfer to another bank, the bank calls the other bank to say we'll pay, we promise to pay. So listen, but are we going to take control now by looking at that? So I want to open that up again.
Yeah.
Over to you.
I,
Over
I
to you.
just want to say something about that. The other thing I'd like to add to what you're saying, brilliant as it is what is Africa doing to catch up with this technology? Yeah? And
Yep.
what in the Western world, what is the black people doing in order to bridge the gap in terms of us, in terms of our kids? Yeah? What are we doing? What are we going to do to bridge that gap and not be left behind? Yeah? In England, you go, I mean, I was born in the 60s. You went into the bank, you had cashiers, you had security guard, it was heavily loaded with manpower. Now I'm talking to a machine and probably two or three people at the bank because everything is automated. I want to talk to somebody, it's over. the internet or phone. I want to talk to my doctor. It's over virtual environment and virtual assistants. So what I'm saying is everything has changed and it consistently change. And it is for us to get on board, and it's for you to ensure that your kids get on board with this new environment and the new economy. Yeah, America are trying to flex their muscles. Yeah, with the economy, they're no longer the economic superpower anymore. It's changed. The dollar is soon going to change to something else. These are because of technology.
I think in answer to your question, Joe, what are we going to do? Yeah.
Yeah.
What we can do is awareness, education, and application of what we have. So the thing is, most people today, lots of things we're talking about right now, they don't have a clue. Yeah. You tell someone about cybersecurity, they're some of them are clueless. Yeah. So what we have to do is as whether it's the Africa, whether it's the community, we need to have we need to get together. We need to have boot camps in terms of showing people how this thing all works and actually taking them through practical steps so that they don't get, most people it's fear. Like if you tell someone like in Nigeria or anywhere else, you tell someone about cryptocurrency, they run for shelter. It's like, what is that? Oh no. Do you understand? But what they don't understand is this is all part of taking the power away from the people. If they don't know it, they don't have power. If they don't know how to use it, they don't have power either. And that's where most African countries have been for centuries, where there's only a few people with the power. But this whole new revolution can actually change the shift of the power, change the power. And the good thing about Nigeria is the majority of Nigerians are under the age of 30. That means we are in a good position to take advantage of this new industrial revolution. The problem I have is when you talk about Nigeria, Ghana, all these places, infrastructure is a problem. Infrastructure. Yeah. Where governments at the moment, unfortunately, uh, they might see it, but they might deliberately not see it. But what's happening is the foresight. Ideally, if I'm in position of government or power, the first thing I'm doing is look, this is happening, whether we like it or not. Yeah. So guess what? What we can do is how can we put in resources to have constant electricity? How can we put in resources to have good internet all over the country? Because if we have that, we can be a powerhouse to Africa. We can be a powerhouse to the rest of the world. Look, India became famous because guess what? India, they used to write computer programs from India, isn't it? And English companies used to send their programs to India to write programs. Yeah. That's how became one of the super giants. Yeah. But guess what? We have brain power in our continent, but we don't have infrastructure. And it's not that we can't have infrastructure, it's just that there seems to be some sort of power that makes sure that we don't have the infrastructure. And I'm not an expert at that. I think Greg's more of an expert than me on that. But I'm just talking from an observational point of view. And I think one of the things I'll say is what you've said is all right. Everything's okay. But we need to now start educating ourselves, start empowering our people with the knowledge and stop fearing the unknown. Fear of the unknown is the biggest problem we have. Procrastination. Some of us have the knowledge. Some of us have the knowledge. When I talk about education, you can't beat Nigerians when it comes to education. You cannot beat Nigerians in education. If you want to go to the North Pole, you'll find a Nigerian in a university if there's one there. Yeah? Do you understand? Nigerians have degrees, they have paper. But the problem they have is when you tell a lot of them in Nigeria to apply it, it's almost like, what did you get? What paper is that again? So I think what we need to do is we need to say like um, cybersecurity, AI, all these things need to be on the main agenda now. So I don't know whether, Greg, do you want to come in here? Because we're talking a little bit about Nigeria, and you've obviously lived in Nigeria longer than any of us. Yeah. Well, not any of us. I think Femi lived in Nigeria a little longer than
Yeah,
you.
yeah. So,
Yeah,
Mr. Tony, so
yeah, yeah.
good point so far. So first of all, I'll start with the decentralization in terms of cryptocurrencies, blockchain technology, and the Internet of Things as well. All of these things are put together. The truth is, money, the money that we know of today, paper money, coins money, cannot run the third industrial revolution. It lacks the capacity, no transparency, government regulations. So, digital technology, digital currency, cryptocurrency, like again, cannot it's not going to be optional as well. It's not going to be optional. So everyone needs to also jump on that bandwagon. But I must always sound this point of caution, which is the fact that while we are all excited about this, I also believe that there should be a certain level of there should be a level of regulation. There should be a level of regulation. While everybody is saying, because if there is no regulation, guess what happens? We will become like cannibals. I'm talking about people are able to use their money to do whatever thing they want to do. You can buy anything. You can buy human beings since there is no trace. You can buy any human being part. You can pay for someone to go and kill somebody. Without regulation, all of these things cannot really work effectively. But as to whether paper money today, the way we see money is going to run the third industrial revolution, the answer is no. So for the industrial revolution to work well, then that means cryptocurrency or blockchain technology has to survive, has to be, the currency has to move towards that pedestal as well. If not, the currency, the paper currency does not have the capacity to run that. And then when you come to Nigeria, I heard you say something about Nigerians can read books. Nigerians can read books. The truth is, I mean, but not about the truth. My own opinion, in my opinion, Nigerians are not as technically sound in quantity. The number of technically sound Nigerians is not commensurate with the population that we have. I understand that you can go to some schools, you see Professor this, you see Doctor this, but when it comes to engineering, when it comes to some technical stuff, that's the reason why till today Apple cannot move its production ground to Nigeria, to anywhere in Africa. Why? Because there is no quantity of quality technical people. That quality, I mean, the quality is there, but it is not enough. It is not enough. So we have so many Nigerians studying some jobs. Look at India, for instance. By the time you finish your high school, the very first thing you need to learn is engineering, base form. They gathered enough, a large number of people to understand mathematics, physics, all of this technical stuff, so that when they proceed, it is going to be easier for them to understand all of these other these technologies that we are talking about. So yes, I agree with you that Nigerians are everywhere studying, but the question is, what courses are they studying? Sometimes you can see they're studying marketing, they're studying history, they're studying government, they're studying rubbish. Honestly, if I contest to become the president of Nigeria, I keep saying this many times. Many courses. I studied in the University of Abuja in Nigeria, where we were about 60 something, 65 or 67, studying history. There's another department studying political science. Political science, over 200 students. What are you? I don't understand. I do not understand. Whereas everybody, theater arts, history, political science, all those rubbish courses, you can reduce the number of people that are studying those courses and then push them into the STEM education. STEM education, that is the very first place to start from. When you have that solid foundation, there is nowhere they cannot go. If the Nigerian government or the African government, Ghana, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, all of this, let them focus on STEM. Everybody, forget about all these courses. Put 5 people to go and study history. 5 political science, each law, all of those courses, and then push them into technical stuff. We will get better results. And then you will see us shining and running. Look at the way Indians are running most tech companies in the US. It is not because they are the most intelligent people in the world. No, it is because of the policies that their governments have made that has made it possible for them to have quantity of quality people. It is not all about quantity of quality people, and you will see the output, and then you see the output and the result in the GDP. And what is GDP? GDP is simply the calculation, the production quality of each individual put together. If we are 10 in this room, and then each of us can produce, the quality of our work can be $5,000 per hour. If you put that together, that is GDP of people that are here. But you look at it and then you go to Nigeria, you realize that even though they are very intelligent, but they are intelligent in the wrong things, very smart in the wrong things. So that is where the policy has to come in. So in summary, I would say that the cryptocurrency, the blockchain technology, that is where the third industrial revolution is going to stand on. But again, African leaders must remember to make the right policies to ensure that the people, somebody like me now, I'm nearly 40. I don't think they are going to make any policies that will make me change right now. But you see, my children, you see people that are between 20, 15, 25, actually, that can obviously have effect on them. And that is where they should focus on. Thank you.